I think that it's fascinating to see where Somerset and Mills start at the beginning of the film and where we end up. In a lot of ways, that conversation that they have at the bar, I think, is so fascinating. It's right kind of in the like beginning of the third act where they're talking about apathy and um, Somerset is preaching this whole thing to Mills around, yeah, well, of course, apathy is an easier solution, but love costs and you can't afford to be this naive. And I love the moment where Mills actually calls Somerset out and says, you're saying people, something along the lines, it's not the exact quote, okay, guys. But Mills says to Somerset, like, essentially, you're saying people don't care enough, but then therefore you don't care. And I think that is such a like calling out of what Somerset has recognized, which is that yeah, the world has become so apathetic, and there's a cynicism, a deep cynicism that he has about that. But Mills is the person that cares so deeply and kind of wears his heart in his sleeve. And I think a lot of the way the two shape and form each other by the end of the film is kind of really beautiful. Like, I remember this film being incredibly dark and cynical. And in a lot of ways, I think it's because John Doe is, and that is on full display. But if we look at the journey that both of these characters go on, especially Somerset's journey, where he chooses to stay at the end, and he's even says that like the world is worth fighting for. Like that is David Fincher hopefulness. If you ever did see it, like in this gruesome, dark film where the best of us has taken the worst act, with Mills choosing to shoot John Doe at the end, and yet our main protagonist that was deeply cynical and checked out at the beginning of this film is like, yeah, but the world's still worth fighting for. And that is Mills' legacy. That's Mills' impact on Somerset and choosing to believe, to hope for the good guys, the ones that care, the ones that maybe are deeply emotional and invested, but and has led them to do some wrong things, but they cared and their hearts were beating. That's inherently so hopeful.